being a part of the Fort Mose State Flight of Freedom?
What I realized is that a healthy community understands its past.
Okay.
And in many African proverbs, they talk about a community's three villages: the living, the unborn, and the living dead. So if what we do can make all three of those groups happy and feel that they are included, then there's harmony within our village. In some periods of time recently, I felt very disheartened and felt as though I could even hear my grandparents rolling in their graves.
You too.
I felt that
Hallelujah.
I could feel them rolling in their graves, and it reminded me that, well, I guess this work is not done. I think this work will outlive all of us, but none of us can let our opportunity to pull or to chop on the block some go by, because if we don't do our part, someone else has to do twice as much. Everyone in our society doesn't have as much at stake, but if you would like to raise your kids with the idea that they are descendants of people who were an integral part of the fabric of what we call North America,
And
that's this place,
Fort Mose State.
it will force you to go beyond conventional boundaries and ways of thinking. This is not about black people versus white people. It's not about North and South. It's not even American history. This is the history of North America. But the Americans inherited the system that the English inherited from the French, who inherited from the Spanish, and none of them got it right, because it's not sustainable. It was never meant to succeed.
The system. It was never meant to
It was
succeed.
never meant to succeed.
It was meant to fail.
It was meant to fail, and its failure would not fall on a few people.
Now, Mr. Lane explained to me that we found out about Fort Mose State from Spain alerted the U.S.
To some degree.
To some degree. I mean, you've always known.
Yes.
Okay, so
There's the archaeological footprint in that there were colonial maps that showed this outpost. Some were labeled Negro Fort, but in terms of investigative history, you take the next step and ask yourself, why was it called the Negro Fort, and why was it 2 miles north of town? Well, 2 miles north of town because this is the warning that the British are coming.
in the port, it's close to
Yes.
the water.
So once they found that this was a real place as documented, Spain was able to provide the documents that they had, because they kept track of every piece of machinery,